Pull up a chair by the hearth.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Hearth podcast. My name is Christopher Puner, and with me I have a Mr. Aidan Frost Rockhearts.
Hey, that's me.
Yo, what's up? Mr. Matt Hillman is actually, he's moving today, so he's not here. So I didn't have Aidan last week, and this week we don't have Matt. Doing a little flip-flop. I guess this whole two-man show thing is really just, it's the way to go, I guess. Hopefully all three of us will be here next week. But yeah, that's not going to stop us from doing a show. We got a full show full of stuff and things to talk about. But first, Frost, since people didn't really get to meet you last episode, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, like your expertise in the games that we're going to be discussing on this show, and like how long you've been playing it, blah, 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 stuff like that.
Okay, I'll just go in order of them. I'll start it with Heroes of the Storm. So Heroes, I haven't played as much Heroes as some other people I know, but so far what I've played, I've absolutely loved the game. I've mainly only played like a couple characters, I'm still kind of getting used to the game, because like there is a lot of depth to that game that I just have not experienced. So like the more I play that, the more I'll enjoy it. As for WoW, I played during Kata. It's funny, I guess I played during Kata and Pandaria. So I played during Kata, got my super cool druid up to level 85, and then Pandaria came around and I'm like, hey, that's cool, I'll do that again. But this time I didn't have friends leveling with me, so I hit level 86 and I'm like, I don't like this game. So I took a huge break from that, came back, so I'm starting up again, playing the good old WoW. I guess I enjoy like Battlegrounds and like PvP more than anything else, if you will, but hopefully I'll get back into that and I'll enjoy it just as much as I used to during Kata. And for Hearthstone, I would say Hearthstone is my specialty, if you will, if you said we all had one on the show. I'd say each month for ranked, I like average top 1%, like rank 3 or below. For arenas and stuff, I got my first 12 win arena like last week, so
Woo!
I'm pretty decent at that.
What do you get from that? Like, what's your rewards?
Oh, you get 5 little chest thingies. I'm sure you've only seen like 2, but
I've seen 3. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but like you get a ton of gold. I think I got my rewards were pretty crappy. Like you can get a golden legendary, you can get golden cards, you can get all this crazy stuff. I think I got like 350 gold, a pack, and then 2 golden cards or something like that. So pretty decent, not terrible. I wish I got like a legendary gold or something.
Yeah, but 350 gold isn't bad.
Oh yeah, it's 2 arena runs. So. Yeah, but overall, like I kind of dabble in everything. Definitely Hearthstone is my specialty, and I guess I'll provide as much knowledge as I can for that.
Cool. All right, and then you know our story, me and Matt's, because you listened to the last episode, and if you didn't, you should go back and listen, because you're still able to get in on the ground level of the show if you really want to.
It's like lore.
Kind of is, a little bit, except we're building it as we go along together. Yeah! Okay, so Mr. Hearthstone player, why don't you tell me about your past week? Did you do anything notable, or like, what?
Okay, so I guess I haven't done anything too crazy. I've been grinding a little bit. We have a couple friends of the show, one of them notably, Rob. I think we might actually hear from him later. Me and him like grind against each other to hit like a highest rank each month, and so I've been grinding ranked, and I kind of took a break from arenas. I'm trying to save up as much gold as I can for some reason. I'm thinking when like a new expansion comes out, I can just buy a bunch of packs without spending real money. So I currently have like 1,200 gold saved up, but mainly I've just been grinding ranked, and it's going pretty well. I'm currently like rank 8, I think. So I mean, I have a little bit more to go. I still have like 10 days left in the season, so I should probably hit rank 3 in a couple days.
All right. That's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't played much WoW. I've played 1 or 2 games of Heroes of the Storm, though, but other than that, been a pretty slow week.
Cool. For myself, well, I actually been playing quite a bit of Hearthstone. I've been playing a new Mech Hunter deck that I built that's borderline great and borderline garbage at the same time.
I was going to say I'm sorry. After I heard the title of that.
Every once in a while, if you get the right hand and you top deck the right things, it is phenomenal. But if you get in a rut, man, you get in a rut. It reminds me of back when I used to play Magic, just getting like, mana starved or mana overflowed. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. But if it works and I get my what are they called? The manipulator out there?
Oh, yeah.
The metal manipulator? What are they called?
Oh, the mech warper?
Yeah, the mech warper. That one. The one that lowers the summon cost, the mana cost by 1. I can play, 2 micro machines the next turn, or like a micro machine in like a turn 3, what's that 4-drop that you and Matt love? That one's nuts at with 3 mana. It really depends. It really depends. But it's been getting me up there. I think I'm at you're gonna laugh, but I'm at like 16 right now, which is good for me. That's fine.
That's still probably like what, top 50% or something?
Something like that, bad. I think.
Yeah. So, mechs have such good synergy, though. So, I guess you can make a mech deck out of any class if you really wanted.
Pretty much, but also you have the fallback of your hero power when you play a hunter.
15-turn timer.
Pretty much, yeah. If you got an empty hand, you can still do damage to them, which is incredibly important, unless it's a fucking priest. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up because this was in my week. I played against a shadow priest. Played against a priest, and then he used the thing that turns his hero power into deal 2 damage.
Yes.
And then if you get a second one, it now deals 3.
Yeah.
That game was over, man. That game was over. It was disgusting. I was really, really unhappy. I got him down to 4 health, and he plays like 2 anti-heal bots, and I just like almost conceded right there, but I played it out like a champ. I was a little upset. So I really don't like playing against priests.
I mean, they just have like really, really valuable cards, so you have to kind of just out-tempo them, out-rush them, outdo whatever your class does.
Sure. All right, well, yeah. Heroes of the Storm. I'm playing a lot of Kael'thas and still trying to get him to level 10. He's like almost level 9 right now from what I've been playing. Other than that, Brightwing is free this week, so oh shit. Everybody's crazy about Brightwing, which is really frustrating. At least it's not Nova free week because holy shit. Or Zeratul free week. Wow. Yeah. There's that. Been playing a little bit of World of Warcraft, just my normal garrison stuff. Did a little bit of LFR. Still grinding my Arbigator stones. It's a task,
That's why they call it a grind.
I know, but it's just I just kind of want to move on. But I got like 2 more weeks, I think, of high maul to do in order to get all my Arbigator stones. Which is fine, whatever. I mean, it'll make me feel like I earned it when I get it. That's fine. But yeah, other than that, actually, kind of off the beaten path a little bit, I did start playing a little bit of StarCraft 2 again.
I love StarCraft, honestly.
StarCraft is great. I'm absolutely bad at it. Like, I'm really, really bad at it. But I enjoy the game a lot. And I think it's a cool game, which is a weird thing. Like, you don't normally enjoy playing games that you're bad at, But StarCraft is one of those that I'm like, yeah, if I'm playing against somebody else that's equally as terrible as I am, we're both going to have a really good time.
Well, and I mean, like, the custom games in that game are so much fun. Every single custom game is so good.
Even just the normal game is fun, too. But, yeah, that thing has a really great custom game, like, engine built into it. And if you guys are unfamiliar, which you hopefully aren't, because it's pretty fantastic, you can basically build just about any game out of the StarCraft 2 map editor. It's nuts. But yeah, so there's all that stuff. But let's move into some more interesting stuff like 6.2. We talked about it last week. Patch 6.2 for World of Warcraft coming out. The date is officially now the 23rd, and they released a trailer for it, which is Bala Bala Bills, y'all. It's awesome. It's really great. Even Frost, who doesn't play the World of Warcraft endgame really right now, he enjoyed it. So from somebody who is not overly familiar with like the lore, with what's going on in the World of Warcraft right now, who's not playing any game content, who hasn't rated, what was your impression about the stuff that was going on?
Well, I mean, the way that they shaped the trailer makes it seem like they're really pushing these patches as like mini expansions, if you will. Like the amount of content that they're trying to get out in like one little patch, if you like, I guess it's a patch, yeah. But it just seems like they're completely revamping certain aspects, like the whole new raid, all that crazy stuff. It just seems like they're really pushing content more than they used to. It's not like, okay, the expansion dies out after however many months, and then you wait for a new expansion. These patches are like really just keeping the game alive. At least that's what I can tell from the trailer and stuff. So, I mean, even since Burning Crusade, they've done staggered patch releases of raid content and stuff, right? Like you've had tiered raiding. Yeah.
you had like Tempest Keep and stuff, and then you had like Black Temple. Like there was different things in Burning Crusade, and then all the way up, like Wrath of the Lich King, there was all that stuff too. Cataclysm, same deal. But they only really started doing like these cinematic trailer promotions, I want to say in the past 2 or so expansions, and they serve a really great purpose, and you are a key example of this. As a non-WoW player, you sit back when some of your WoW crazy friends are like, dude, check this out, this is awesome. You're like, all right, whatever, and you look at it and go, oh wow, that is kind of cool, and you don't care at all about any of the characters. You probably don't even know who they are in this trailer. You're just like, wow, look at all the things they're listing, look at all the things that they're changing, and it's pretty great.
It's like, wow, that's a game that's actually being updated with stuff that people want.
Right.
Which is, most developers really don't do that in a timely manner.
Right, and I feel like in today's modern gaming marketplace, you would see that sort of stuff as more DLC than anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, obviously in WoW, subscription-based, it's great that they don't. But they could also probably get away with that sort of stuff, because they sell, like, mounts and stuff, like, kind of lame things like battle pets and stuff. They sell those things for like $10.
Yeah,
they can
charge
get away
like double the amount that they should for everything.
Yeah, but it's Blizzard and they can, and so I think it's wicked cool of them that they're Blizzard and they can, but then they don't with things like patches like these, like raid content and stuff like that. And I feel like it strengthens the bond between the consumer and Blizzard at this point in time. So I think it's very smart. Yeah, so if you guys want to check out that trailer, I highly suggest that you do. I'll have a link to it in the show notes when we throw this up after we're done. But yeah, make sure you go check it out. And to my World of Warcraft playing brothers and sisters, it's going to be game time soon. 3 more days as of this recording. Probably 2 when you hear it, maybe even 1. Or you've dug this up out of the dust or the attic of old files on the internet and you're listening years in the future. Hi. From 2015.
You have Cataclysm 2 already.
You have WoW 3. Congratulations.
Like Deathwing like 4 heads. It's fucking crazy.
It's incredible. Wow, who would have thought? What a time to be alive. Okay, next thing up is Tavern Brawl. And we talked about this extensively. We talked about it in the last episode, and we also talked about it in our subsequent like supplementary episode podcast episode called Pre-Brawl, which we plan on doing every single week. It was Aidan and I talking about this week's specific Tavern Brawl. But for those of you who aren't familiar, Aidan, why don't you give us a rundown on, first of all, what Tavern Brawl is, and then secondly, more importantly, what this week's was.
Okay, so Tavern Brawl is the new game mode in Hearthstone. So it kind of like fills the little void that we had for like a casual game mode to play with your friends. Like not really competitive, not really fully balanced, but a ton of fun. Like we were kind of always missing that. It's like you go into your normal games, you still face hunters, you go into ranked, and then you play against real decks against real good players. But this kind of fills like the void of this kind of one at the end, yeah. But this kind of fills the void of like, hey, I know exactly what's going to be in their deck. Well, at least this one, you know exactly what's going to be in their deck. You know what's going to be in your deck, and you just get to have fun. You get to play with crazy, ridiculous cards, and it just honestly was so much fun. This week's was Ragnaros versus Nefarian. So, I mean, not balanced, but holy crap, I have had so much fun with that. Just the amount of RNG and craziness that can go on in like a game that lasts that long is just it makes me want to play more of like casual game modes. Like I prefer that to ranked at the moment.
In Hearthstone, at least, right? I mean,
yeah, of course.
Right. I mean, okay, so this particular matchup is really cool because these are 2 characters that we've seen in Hearthstone so far, right? Nefarian is a card. Ragnaros is also a card. And I mean, we're familiar with these names for WoW lore and Hearthstone players alike, right? They're iconic in their own way. But like Aidan was saying, it's not necessarily balanced, but that doesn't get in the way of it being fun, which I feel like is exactly what they were going for. It like they give you there's a win counter at the bottom of like when you decide to queue up for another brawl game or challenge somebody else, but in honest to God, doesn't matter.
Yeah, you win your first game, you get your pack, then you can play with friends. That's really what you're doing.
Pretty much. And I meant to tell you, so the game that I won my pack on was a Ragnaros game versus Nefarian.
That's fucking awesome, honestly.
It's ridiculous. I lost like 4 games in a row versus real people, which is how you get your pack win. and played a couple with Frost before we did the pre-brawl. And even when I was Nefarian, I was just getting outpaced because I'm garbage at Hearthstone. But it's a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to next week's at least, and so on and so forth. So if you haven't played,
sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was gonna say, but like, it's just amazing, like the stuff. Like, I was like almost pissing myself laughing. I had this one game where I was playing Rag, and Nefarian's hero power is 2 mana, get a random spell of any class, and it costs 0 mana. He got Shadow Form, and then he used Shadow Form, so it got rid of his hero power to make random spells. And I was just like pissing myself laughing. It's just like shit like that just makes the game so much fun to play. It's like I just wanted to keep spamming games until that happened again.
That is really funny. So yeah, if you haven't played Tavern Brawl yet, get in there. I don't think it's going to last very much longer until they go into the next brawl. Which started Monday for us, right?
Yep, it starts Monday. I mean, no, Monday. It starts Wednesday. It opens on Wednesday to play, and then it closes after 5 days. So I think it closes Monday. Is that right?
I believe. Yep, that would make sense. Yep, checks out. So go play before you miss out. All right, moving on. Here's the Storm Eternal Conflict. That is some pretty cool stuff for all you Diablo players out there. There's going to be a big Diablo-themed push for content in Heroes of the Storm. Some of the things that they've been showing with their preview, the developmental preview, is the Butcher, a brand new hero coming out. He comes with a Master Butcher skin as well as an Iron Butcher skin that are also coming out with him. Leoric, the Skeleton King, you may remember him also from Diablo. He's crazy. Master Leoric skin, Vrykroll Leoric skin, where he's got like a bunch of flesh on him and stuff. He looks really awesome. Vrykroll are from World of Warcraft. And then a couple of weird skins. Archangel Diablo skin and themed abilities. Basically, especially like Diablo like squeezing into like Tyrael's armor and the hood up and the wings, and his particle effects are like light now instead of fire. It's goofy and really cool at the same time. Like they always do a good job, but that one in particular made me laugh. Novazon, Nova skin and themed abilities. It's like her with a crossbow and some Amazon shit. It's pretty neat, I guess. If you're a big Nova player, you want to take a look at that one. Tyrael's Charger Mount looks just like a horse with wings and stuff. Looks pretty great. And then the Butcher's Battle Beast, which is basically just it
looks sick.
It looks cool, but it's like one of those pack animals that you see in World of Warcraft. The ones the Tauren ride. Oh, Kodos. Look kind of like a Kodo with armor on it. It looks pretty sweet. If you guys want to look more into that sort of stuff, we'll also have a link to that in their preview page in the show notes. Are you excited for any of this? Any of the stuff that's coming out in this? Because I know you played a little bit of Diablo, right?
Yeah. I'm not very good at it, but I really enjoy it. Like, all my friends used to play it, and it's just once again, Blizzard makes really good games like when you play with friends. Like every single one of their games when you play with or against friends is just so much fun. Diablo is a great example of that.
Cool. Anything in particular like that you're looking at? Maybe are you excited for the Butcher or Leoric or anything?
I still think I need to play a little bit more just to understand the basics of the game. I don't think I've played on all the maps yet. I've played on a couple of them, so I still need to understand the basic mechanics before I can really get into the game. I think got to choose a main.
That's fair. Not all of us can just fall in love with Kael'thas right away. Cool. So why don't we talk a little bit about the competitive scene in Hearthstone, since we finally have you on now to talk about it, because last week, Hillman and I feel like he knew that there was a tournament going on. He didn't remember the name, he didn't remember what the purpose of it was, like he didn't know anything that was happening with it, and neither did I. So I believe the exact quote was, Hearthstone things happened, we'll ask Frost next week.
Yeah, I think I remember listening to that.
So I'm asking you this week now. Competitive scene? ?
Yeah. It wasn't I guess it was a huge tournament, but I mean, it's not super important. It gives you like points to go to the Blizzard World Championship and all that crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. But it was the ESL Legendary Series Season 2 Finals, which is a long-ass title, and it was kind of interesting. I watched most of the games. Like, the meta really hasn't shifted since the last couple of online tournaments. It's still like, you play either rush decks, you play either kind of very unique decks, or you play mid-range. For example, like Tempo, the decks that were played in the grand finals between Reynad and Phone Tap were Tempo Mage, Mech Shaman, Druid, Patron Warrior, and Mid-Range Hunter. They're all mid-range decks, or they all have like a really niche thing. Like Patron Warrior is, you wait until you get combo, then you win the game. Or like, and the rest of them are all just mid-range. So, I mean, it's not like it's a super interesting meta. The meta's probably as refined as it can get right now until cards are nerfed or changed or more things are added. Because currently it's like, if you play a mech deck, or a mid-range deck, if you will, if you play those, it's like, if you get the right combo, then you win early because you can rush them, or you can also stall out because you have all these like huge cards for later. So, I mean, it's a really safe meta. I think decks like Patron Warrior, where it's like you wait for a combo and then you can win the game instantly, are decks that are kind of interesting right now because it's like they're not just following the same like cookie cutter pattern.
I mean, yes, but I also want to like say cheese when I see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is pretty cheesy. Like I always, the joke between us and all of our friends is that decks like Freeze Mage, where pretty well Freeze Mage, if people don't know exactly what Freeze Mage is as a competitive deck, it's pretty well, you play stuff like Doomsayer, all these blizzards and all these stuff that can stop your enemy from attacking. So you stall out the game as long as you can, and then you burn them down in one turn. Like you wait till you get all your cards. So you're pretty well playing PvE. That's the way I always like joke about it. It's like, you're not really playing against another player, you're playing against yourself to draw the right cards, which is kind of, I guess, not that much fun, but it's nicer than seeing like some of these like cookie cutter mid range decks, which I do play. So, that's the decks that I play in ranked. So
what? Give me an example of this Freeze Mage. Like what's the sort of combo that you're looking for? Because okay, so I know Pyroblast, 10 mana, 10 damage, right?
Yeah, they don't run that, sadly. Oh, actually, well, some run one. But, for example, say you're playing against, like, a Hunter and you're playing Freeze Mage. So you're going to run stuff like Doomsayer, which is a 0/7, and on your next turn, it destroys everything on the field. So you'll play, they have a full board, you play Doomsayer, you play Frost Nova for 3 mana. It's a 5 mana combo, it clears their entire board, which it just stalls the game. It clears their entire board, and then you wait a couple seconds. And then you run the spells like Ice Barrier, Ice Block, which give you 8 armor, make you not die from lethal damage that turn, so it stalls one more turn. For example, like you'll run Ice Block, which makes you not die. Like you can't be reduced below 1 health. So you play that, and then you Alex Straws them the next turn to put them down to 15. And unless they can heal up, you can go Fireball for 12 damage for 8 mana, and then Frostbolt for 15. So unless they heal, you kill them. Which, I mean, there's no counterplay unless you have a heal to prepare for it. But I don't know. It's more PvE than PvP, which seems weird for a one-on-one game.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think it's a very intricate deck, which, like, there's no other deck like it. I guess you could say fatigue decks, which are never going to be meta, are kind of like it, but at least they're fun. You can have counterplay. You can be like, okay, I'm going to throw everything out on the field so they don't make me burn all my cards from making me draw.
Right. I feel like I'm not experiencing any of these sort of decks at rank 16, 15, or whatever I'm at. You know, like...
Yeah, I mean, like, it's one of those things. You eventually learn every single card in every single deck until people change it up. Like, that's why higher ranked play, like rank 5 and below, is so hard to rank up at. It's because people don't just net deck. They don't just look up online, mid-range Hunter, and then put all the cards that are on the list. They start being like, hey, I'm playing against a lot of aggro today, so I'm going to put in some Sludge Belchers. I'm going to take out these aggro cards. So you can, like, play against what you're facing, which is not really seen at your level.
Right. Okay. I'm not going to take that personally at all. I'm just going to kind of let that. I'm just going to kind of let that wash over. Yeah,
I'm sorry, Chris, but you're right. But going back to the ESL tournament, Phone Tap won the tournament 3-1 in the finals against Reynad, who is Reynad's a pretty well-known Hearthstone player, and Phone Tap is a very, very, very new player. Like, he's never been in a competitive tournament, at least like at LAN. And seeing his tweets from his Twitter, like I saw it linked on Hearthstone subreddit, he's just so sweet. It's like, just got done crying, I'm so excited, I can't believe I won this. It's just like, it's really nice seeing someone who's really new to the scene win a tournament.
That's pretty cool. That's like watching a brand new team in Professional League Legends just like rocket all the way to the top. Like that's a cool story to follow.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, speaking of cool stories to follow, and because that was a cool story, we're going to follow it with something else. Let's do stuff for this week's Don't Be a Scrub. Last week, Matt Hillman talked a little bit about, learning how to play your class in World of Warcraft, when we're talking about specifically raiding and stuff like that, and like what it takes to be a good raider. And then this week, we're going to do something a little bit different. And since we have Aidan here, and I personally had an experience with both of them when we were recording a video this past week, we're going to talk about Arena Drafting 101. So basics. So things that Chris doesn't know. Why you don't pick Goldshire Footman because apparently it's a bad card. Like things like that. And I'm going to let Frost kind of drive this conversation because I don't really know where to start because I don't know many cards like by heart or as intimately, I suppose, as Aidan does.
Yeah. So we'll just start with like drafting. I'd like to get into a little bit to play, but we'll start it with drafting because that's really the main topic. So when you're drafting an arena deck, first of all, when you're picking a class, that's actually probably the best thing to start out with. You want to pick a class with strong class cards. Like, that's our first debate in our arena video that we'll be putting out in... Actually, I think it's already out, isn't it?
It is. It's already up, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, we were deciding, what class should we choose? We had the option of Hunter, Paladin, or Priest. I personally overvalue Priest, but Priest has really, really good cards. Like, they have 3 mana, 3/4s, which with great death rattles, right? They have all these really strong cards that are just innately better than normal common cards. Hunters, you have to have all aggro cards, so you don't want a Hunter deck because you can only play Hunter one playstyle, so like that's eliminated from our decision.
Yeah, I usually like every single time I would play an arena and I was under the impression that Hunter was good, I would end up drafting just a shit ton of like spell ability cards, and I would get screwed.
Yeah, it's just so hard to get the right cards. Like, I'm sure you can go 12-0 or 12-3 or whatever as a Hunter, but it's just so hard to play that one style that you're limited to.
Yeah.
But, like, so our two options were Paladin and Priest, and both of them have good AoE clear. Paladin has Consecration, which is 4 mana, do 2 damage to everything. Priest has a 5 mana, do 2 damage to everything, heal yourself by 2, all your cards by 2. So they both have really good clear, and they both have really good creatures innately. So I think both of them are fine. We ended up going with Paladin because Chris was a little bit more confident with Paladin. He's played it a couple more times. But it's like, when you're drafting, there's just things you have to look out for. You want a lot of 2-drops, because if you can coin 2-drop, then 2-drop, and then play on curve 3, 4, 5, then you're probably going to out-tempo the other person. You want to get all your cool AoE clears, so as many consecrations as you can get. There's just power picks, though. It's like, the more you play this game, the more you will understand what cards are good. Like, you know that you don't want to pick up Goldshire Footman because it doesn't have any attack damage, so therefore it's just literally going to stall out one attack. That's all it's going to do. Okay, and that's why... Sorry, I was going to mention, like, your favorite thing, Piloted Treader. You kept talking about how much Matt and I like Piloted Treader. Yeah. It's because Piloted Treader is a 4 mana 4/3, so it has low health, but no matter what, you're going to get 2 cards out of it unless they silence it. So, like, it's going to almost 100% be better than any other 4-drop in the game.
Right. You guys were talking a lot about, like, mid-range cards that are very, very valuable because, like, there's a certain threshold between the 4, 5, and 6 health range where it's more valuable because it won't get killed by certain cards more easily.
Yeah, we looked at Priestess of Elune, I think is how you pronounce it, which is a 6 mana 5/4. It's great because it restores 4 health to your hero. That's a really good battle cry.
Well, I thought she was 3/6. Wasn't she a 3/6?
No, that's Fen Creeper that you're thinking of.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Priestess of Elune, though, is a 5/4. So it's like, she has a good attack, she has a good battle cry, but her health is 4. So she's 6 mana, she dies to cards with 4 attack, which 4 mana cards can have. 3 mana cards can even have. So, I mean, she's not good stats-wise. But if you look at Fen Creeper, which we didn't end up going with in our draft, which I really, really, really tried to rally for.
Yeah, you did.
A 5 mana card with 3 attack and 6 health. How many, like, there's, like, very little cards that have 6 attack or higher. The only cards that have 6 attack and higher, like, traditionally, are legendaries that are 8/8 and stuff like that.
Right.
Or stuff like Salty Dog, which is a bad card. It's a 5 mana 7/4. It's like that card dies to 4 mana cards. That's why I don't pick it. So, I mean, you got to look at stats. You got to play. And it's interesting. The more you play, the better you'll get. That's pretty well my best advice.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely learned quite a bit by drafting with Matt and Aidan. And if you want to watch our video and also go through the rigors of having to deal with them tell you that my favorite card out of the 3 that I could choose was not only the wrong choice, but the worst choice by a large margin for A, B, and C reason, you should go check out our video. It's on our YouTube channel. It's also on our Facebook, and I haven't shared it to Twitter yet, I don't believe. No, but it is on our Facebook. And we'll remind you guys on how to go look at that stuff at the end of the show. I don't want to bog you down. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, one more thing about that. Like, my favorite moment within that entire arena thing is the fact that you can play as well as you want to. Like, you can play around as many things as you can. Like, my favorite thing to teach people about Hearthstone is, like, if you're playing against Mage, you don't fill up the board before turn 7 because they're going to Flame Strike you on turn 7. But we were playing against a Paladin, and we had a bunch of cards with 2 health on the field, and I'm like, wow, he didn't Consecrate on turn 4, the 2 damage to everything. So I'm like, wow, he doesn't have Consecrate. Wow, we played like 4 more cards that turn with all with 2 health or less, and then he top decks Consecrate and completely clears our board. It's like, you can only play so well to a point. That's why I love Hearthstone. It's like, we knew he didn't have it, so we played around it, and it still screwed us over. So I mean, like, there's always a chance to overextend your lead, which like really changes who the good players of the game are and who the bad players are. Like, I'm sure a professional Hearthstone player there would have played maybe 1 more card on the field because he knew if they top decked, he would have lost the game. So it's just, there's always room to learn in the game, and that's why it's probably my favorite game currently.
Cool. Well, Neato Magneto. And that, I mean, there's a lot of Hearthstone this week, but it does kind of go straight into our card of the week, which is Cairne Bloodhoof.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let Frost talk about it a little bit, and then he's going to try to piece together what this guy is all about, and I'm going to tell him why he's wrong.
Yeah, so first I'm just going to mention like what he is in Hearthstone and what he can be played in, because I think that's a huge component of our podcast. So Cairne is a 6-mana 4/5. So that's really, really bad stats. But his death rattle is he summons Bane Bloodhoof, which is also a 4/5. So for 6 mana, you're getting 8/10 worth of stats, which is crazy good. So like the reason he's bad is like if he gets silenced, then he's a 6 mana 4/5, and that's not very good. But then again, you're burning silence. So overall, that card's really good. I would run it in like a lot of mid-range decks because you're going to be trading. Because if you make a trade with that card, you won the trade because you still have a card left from it.
Yeah. You're throwing a body at a body and gain, and still keeping another one.
That's why cards like Haunted Creeper are so good, Piloted Shredder are so good. When you can summon another card from your card, it's just, no matter what, going to give you good value.
Sludge Belcher, man.
That's why Sludge Belchers run pretty well every single deck.
Yeah.
So let's look into his flavor text and all of his crazy other stuff. So his flavor text kind of gave me a little bit of a spoiler on the lore, but it's going to help me out a little bit. So his flavor text is, Cairne was killed by Garrosh, so don't put this guy in a warrior deck. It's pretty insensitive. So, like, first of all, that's going to give me a little bit of a hint. When you summon Cairne, he says, take heart, young one. The Earth Mother is near. So I'm assuming lore-wise that the Earth Mother is just what they call the Mother. I'm assuming it's just like Mother Nature, kind of what we would call Mother Nature.
Sure.
Yeah, so, and when you summon Cairne Bloodhoof against Garrosh, the warrior hero, he says, Garrosh, you are not fit to rule the Horde. When you attack with him, he says, for honor. So that's pretty well all I'm dealing with knowledge-wise. I'm not really sure much about Cairne, but I'm going to try to piece together his lore. So just based on the picture, I know he is a Tauren. I'm assuming based on attack and stuff like that for honor.
He's also ripped as fuck.
Yeah, you can tell that from the picture.
Yeah, dog.
He looks pretty sick.
He's been working with Tyrone.
Dude, and Tauren's my favorite class. So I mean my favorite race. So yeah. Anyways, so I'm assuming he's like a noble Tauren, probably leads some sort of faction within the Tauren nation.
Okay.
His death rattle, he summons Bane, so I'm assuming Bane is like his son.
Okay.
Probably his heir to whatever faction he leads. I know that he dies to Garrosh in a fight, so I'm assuming there's some sort of conflict between Garrosh and Cairne over the way that he is leading the uprising of the Horde or something like that.
Yeah, there's definitely animosity between the two, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming Bane Bloodhoof eventually becomes like the same level of hierarchy that Cairne was after he passes, or even higher. I'm assuming that he becomes even a greater leader to lead the Tauren race.
Yeah.
That's pretty well all I got.
Okay. All right. Well, here's the good news. You pretty much nailed all the important bits and pieces. Like if you needed to know anything about Cairne, that's the sort of stuff that you need to know. I mean, there's a couple of other like surrounding facts about him that's very interesting. There's more to the conflict between him and Garrosh than you. I mean, it's very important. Obviously, it is his death. But Cairne plays a huge role in the Horde lore and like the founding of the Horde and stuff like that. So I'm gonna dive in and give you a couple of extra tidbits about Mr. Cairne Bloodhoof.
Perfect.
The first thing is you got to be careful when you're talking about Cairne so that people don't think you're talking about a pretty Tauren named Karen. A lot of people get those two mixed up. It's Cairne and not Karen, and sometimes you just can't help it because your accent or whatever won't let you say Cairne because it's a hard name to say. But this my mother's name is Karen. It's always hilarious. I'm like, Mom's not a Bloodhoof. That's strange. Are you calling my mom a Tauren? That's rude. Anyway, so I'm looking at the wiki page just for like the quick summary and stuff, and a couple of the things that pop out to me as someone that's familiar with him. They were talking about how he obviously leads the Tauren when they, like before they were first established. They were in like huge skirmishes and issues. Like their biggest problem was marauding centaurs, right? They couldn't deal with them. They were like killing their people. There was a huge issue, and they wanted to move to from the Barrens to Mulgore, which would fit their people more. It would fit them more for their more peaceful nature and stuff like that. If you've been to Mulgore or the Barrens in World of Warcraft, you know that the Barrens is very desert-like, dry, obviously barren by the name of the area, and Mulgore is more like overflowing with grass. It's lush, it's green. There's like it's a pasture. It's it's a pasture for these cow people, and it's great. Another thing to note about the Tauren people is that they are very, very in tune with nature. So yes, them inciting the Earth Mother as their main like deity is Mother Nature, that sort of thing. May the Earth Mother guide you, like that sort of thing with them. They're very into nature and stuff like that, and they were for the longest time the only druids on the Horde before expansion came out and they allowed trolls to become druids as well. So as Cairne is trying to lead his people through the Barrens, which they know is going to be a bad choice, to Mulgore, he happens across a young thrall who's the new war chief of the Horde. And then he sees them destroy a group of centaurs, and he was defending a Tauren thrall and his band of orcs. And then Cairne's like, yo, this guy's noble. He's got a sense of what's good and what's bad, and they're good fighters too. I can respect that. And so they talk and stuff. And then he's like, yo, dog, what are you doing here? And Thrall's like, hey, I came here to look for my people's destiny, because the bunch of bad shit with demons and crap, like, you know, the Dark Portal stuff, right? Even you know that, Aidan, the Dark Portal stuff. Yeah, anybody does. And Cairne's like, all right, yeah, there's an oracle in the north. You should probably go see that. That sounds like a thing. And then Thrall's like, oh, by the way, there's a bunch of centaur going north if that matters to you. And Cairne's like, oh shit, that's my family and friends, yo. And he leaves. And he goes and he tries to defend his people. And then Thrall follows him with all of his followers and stuff. And then they defend against wave after wave of centaur warriors. And then Cairne and Thrall catch up a little bit. Cairne tells Thrall about how he's like, I want to lead my people to Mulgore. It'll be great. And Thrall's like, that'd be fine. I wouldn't mind helping you, because killing centaurs seems like a great pastime, I guess, this past week that they had known each other. So, and then he's like, but you gotta tell me where this oracle is instead of just generically, oh, he or she lies to the north. And Cairne's like, fine. Yeah, you save my people. I'll let you know where anything is. Like, that sounds great to me. So, like, they do the whole thing. They evade and defeat the Centaur Marauders, yada, 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 gets at Mulgore. And then Cairne's like, yo, Thrall, the Oracle is within Stone Talon Peak. and the wiki page says, and bid him good luck. Because currently, at this time, there was, like, a bunch of issues with Stone Talon, and there still kind of is remnants of this in World of Warcraft. It's, like, littered with harpies, and at the time, the peaks the Stone Talon Peak was being, like, situated by humans, and so that was a big issue. That was a big faction at the time for them, right? So Cairne follows Thrall. He's like, I gotta repay the debt that you owed me and the Horde. That I owe you and the Horde for, helping my people. You help me, I'm gonna help you. Scratch your backs with my war axe. You scratch mine, sort of thing. I have lots of fur. It's itchy. So Cairne enlists the wyverns to help them, frees them from the harpies, and then they defeat the humans and stuff so they can enter freely. However, as they're about to enter the peak and find the oracle, Jaina Proudmoore, who is the mage in Hearthstone, who is a key character in a lot, like so much lore in World of Warcraft.
I'd believe it.
Also enters. We should talk about her sometime. We'll probably have to go from Card of the Week to Hero of the Week eventually, maybe every once in a while. But to just kind of like wrap this up, they go and they find this oracle. Cairne and Thrall found Jaina already there. By the time I get there, all three spoke to the oracle, whom Thrall recognized as the prophet, which instructed him to go to Kalimdor in the first place. And he told him that they all must ally if they wish to defeat the Burning Legion, and the three hesitantly agreed. And then they do their thing, and then they regain the three of them. Oh, I'm sorry. Cairne's wisdom and strength, the power of the Tauren warrior is great. They work together with like the druidic magic and stuff and all the things that they could bring together between the Orcish horde that already was and the addition of the Tauren. They managed to reclaim Grom Hellscream from his demonic influence because he had been corrupted, right? So that's extremely, extremely important. And then there's a bunch of other filler stuff, and it's really great, like talking about pretty much all of his exploits as a person in the horde and stuff like that. And like he has a lot of respect for orcs and stuff like that, but he also has a lot of respect. Tauren and Night Elves get along really well, especially druids, because they share this common bond of love of nature, and they all like the Earth Mother and stuff. It's a cool thing. But the last little bit that's important is, yes, this tussle with Garrosh. So there's this thing where Garrosh is killing like druid babies, and Cairne's like, "What are you doing? You're not fit to rule the horde," because Thrall had stepped down because he's dealing with the cataclysm, right? He's trying to contain it. So Garrosh Hellscream steps up, who's Grom Hellscream's son. And so Garrosh is doing all this shit, and then Cairne's like, "Yo, honorable duel?" And Garrosh is like, "Hell yeah, man, I'm all about that, So, whatever. Magatha Grimtotem, before the battle, offers to bless Garrosh's weapon, Gorehowl. And then, unknown to Garrosh, Magatha poisons the weapon with a potent toxin, which is, in their culture, super dishonorable. Like, it's a weakling weapon, especially between two warriors. Like, they're not two rogues trying to outsmart each other. They're both highly respected warrior icons. And at this point in time, Cairne's pretty old. He's from a time long past. He was old when Thrall first got to Kalimdor and they met each other in the first place. Like, he is an old soul, an old character. During the course of the fight, Cairne appeared to have the upper hand until his ancient Bloodhoof rune spear was shattered by Gorehowl. Garrosh attacked again, cutting Cairne across the duration of his chest, and then as Cairne began to retaliate, the poison from Gorehowl sank into his blood, weakening him. As he died from the poison, he realized Magatha's betrayal. His final thought, "And so I have lived my whole life with honor, die betrayed." His body was taken to Thunderbluff, and there was a huge Grim Totem uprising and retaking the Thunderbluff by his son, Bane, who now serves as leader of the Tauren. Garrosh even feels bad about this exchange, and that character is full of just venom and malice, and he feels bad. He's like, "That was a dishonorable fight. I didn't deserve what, happened." Thrall comes back, and he keeps a piece of the shattered rune spear with him. It's kind of a sad story, He's a very interesting character, and if you've played WoW from the beginning, and you're a person that really likes Tauren or even Horde, Cairne had been around for a very long time, especially when Cataclysm came out and stuff like that, and that was like one of the first big main character deaths, except for, I suppose Arthas, if we're talking about him. But yeah, it definitely reshaped part of, especially how the Horde works and how people view the Horde. But I've been talking for a long time.
Dude,
so
poison's a women's weapon, quote Ned Stark.
Yeah, also, Magatha Grimtotem is, she's a Tauren woman, so...
Yep.
I suppose. Yeah.
It's all foreshadowing.
There was a lot of really interesting things because a lot of people were calling into question Garrosh's character, and then, like, he was bloodthirsty and ambitious, and he's like orcs, master race, purity sort of thing. But a lot of people were taking to heart, like, this exchange. Like, yeah, he killed Cairne, but, like, it wasn't... He acknowledges that the poison was the main reason that he won. He's like, "That's so dishonorable. I can't believe I took part in that. I can't believe that happened." Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's that for Cairne. Close the spell book on that one, though.
That's pretty hype, though.
It is. It's pretty hype. So this is where we would do This Week in Trade Chat, but I don't want to steal Matt's thunder because he went through the trouble of finding these sort of things, these funny little quotes and stuff like that. And some of these are kind of hilarious. I'm sure he'll have more when he comes back, but I'm going to leave that to him because we're just going to go straight into the email and call section, and we have 2 calls that we're going to play for you guys. And the first one comes from a longtime friend of our shows in general, Shuri. And here it is.
Hey guys, it's Shuri. It's 1 a.m. and I just lost a ranked match of Hearthstone. And I just wanted to say, fuck Priest, fuck Chromagus, fuck Kel'Thuzad, and fuck Hearthstone. Alright, I'm going to go queue up again. Love you guys. Have a good day at podcasting.
I can side with him. It's just like a priest, that's for sure.
Everything he said was valid. Fuck all of those things. Fuck Chromagus, fuck Kel'Thuzad, holy shit. And what was the other one? There's one more good one.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. Just
I think
I
Hearthstone
agree.
in general.
Yeah, really. Sometimes, dude.
I haven't really had the pleasure of facing the Chromagus outside of Tavern Brawl, out in the game. He seemed ridiculous in Tavern Brawl, so I can't assume him actually in a structured deck of your own choosing.
Oh, I actually have a Tavern Brawl Chromagus story, if you give me like a minute. So I had Chromagus out on the field, right? The enemy Rag has 6 health, and he has like a bunch of taunts out on the field, so I can't get through his taunts, right? And I had no cards in my hand, but Chromagus gives you the double draw of 1 card, right? Actually, sorry, I had 1 draw. I think he has another, I had the 7/7 dragon. That's what I had in my hand. So I draw the 5/4 that does 3 damage when you have a dragon in your hand. So I got 2 of them and did 6 damage to him, and it costs exactly 10 mana because it's the 5 mana card. It's just like, holy crap, that was the exact card I needed to double. Cost the perfect amount of mana, did the perfect amount of damage, and I had 1 dragon in my hand. I'm like, I wish I had that on video. Mom, grip the camera.
So that would be That would be an example of fuck Chromagus. You're probably playing against him, playing against Shuri. All right. Well, we also have another call from our personal friend Rob.
Hey, my name's Robert. Big fan of the show. Love the first episode. So I have a question for Frost. Or as he goes by, Aidan. So, my one friend brought up a really good point, and I was really curious though. Does Mal'Ganis have a beard on his Hearthstone card? Because it looks like he has a beard. I hope to hear from your guys' answers. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay.
So,
does he have a beard, Aidan?
So the context on this for anyone who isn't Rob and me is the name of
a movie of like a dude with his dog, Rob and me, Marley and me, yeah,
rest in peace.
All right.
No, but sometimes I think Chris and I have played a couple of these games where we make a custom deck and we make a rule set every single card must have a beard, or every single card must whatever, right? So you have to go through all your cards in your collection. You have to look really, really close, your face is just pressed against the screen, looking for beards on every single card to try to justify them being in your deck. So the time we played against that, if you look at Mal'Ganis' picture in his regular splash art, he looks like he has a full-grown beard.
I know.
He does though.
No,
it's just really dark. It's really dark around his face. So I'm like, okay, I guess Mal'Ganis is cool. So I put him in.
He just has a chiseled beard. I mean, a chiseled chin, and
he has a chiseled beard, dude. No, but I got a lot of shit for that because it won me the game.
But it's really funny because if you look at him, especially if you look at his 3D model where it's very clear he doesn't, not only does he not have a beard, he's bald except for his horns,
Yeah, that's exactly what everyone's like, no, he's bald. I'm like, it looks like he has a beard though, and I'm an idiot.
That's so funny. Yeah. No, to answer your question officially, Rob, I suppose Mal'Ganis does not have a beard on his Hearthstone card, although Frost will argue that, I guess. Well, yeah, and then if you guys want to send us your own voicemails, we'll play them on the show like we just did with that one, answer your questions and stuff like that. The Google Voice number is 681-443-2784. Again, 681-443-2784. And then just, leave a voicemail. Ask a question, some comments, whatever you want, and then we'll deal with it on the show. It'll be a good time. But if you're old-fashioned, like I am, you can send emails to thehearthshow@gmail.com. Same sort of things, question, comments, recommendations, whatever. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Hearth Podcast. Like us on Facebook. Just search for The Hearth, I believe. Or better yet, go to LeagueCast, which is probably easier to find because it has a lot more likes at this point in time. That's LeagueCast, and then you can find some shared posts on the feed there about Hearth stuff. But yeah, and then also check out our YouTube page. Just look for The Hearth, and you'll probably find us. We'll be sharing links to that sort of stuff all over our other feeds, Facebook, Twitter, and also for LeagueCast as well. But for any information about all of our stuff, just visit warfinch.com. That's warfinch.com. And you'll be able to find all of our stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the last thing to say is just to plug the Patreon feed for those of you that really like the arena run. After that first one that we did, the following ones are going to be monthly and only for patrons at a certain level. If you're not sure what that is, you can get familiar and check it out, see if it's something that you might be interested in supporting the show and getting some cool stuff for doing so. At Patreon, that's patreon.com/The Hearth. And you'll see what I'm talking about once you get there. But other than that, I believe that's it, Frost.
I think it is.
Oh, no, I got one more thing. We're on iTunes and Stitcher. I took care of that this week. It's all good. It's in the bag. So if you're listening to this on our website, or if you're listening to this from like a download that you got off, I don't know, some sort of weird website, you don't have to do that, man. You can go subscribe on any of your favorite podcasting apps. That will be the coolest way to do it, actually. And then what would even be cooler past that would be if you guys left us some pretty cool reviews if you wanted to, if you like, give us whatever you think we deserve. But in the past week, we got 3 5-star reviews. And I'd like to share those with you if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
Okay, well, the first one being from Shrimpu. Pretty good 5-star. I wish I knew anything about Warcraft so I could leave a clever joke in the review. Drainer? I barely know her. You're cute, dude. Ori did amazing podcast, 5-star. Found this podcast through another podcast they work on, LeagueCast. They bring a lot of knowledge and fun to that podcast, which they bring to this one as well. After just one episode, I'm most likely getting back into WoW to play my level 100 Hunter again. And I'm glad to hear people's opinions on Hearthstone that are around the same level as myself. Keep up the good work and can't wait for more episodes. And then the last one being from Blooper, 5-star. My man. Excellent podcast, as expected in parentheticals. Oh, you're cute. The Hearth is Warfinch Media's newest podcast, but it already fits right in. And it's the same professional familiarity that makes Warfinch a great brand. Looking forward to future episodes. BlizzCon hype episode in the future, perhaps? And aside, I think that would be awesome. I think we should hang out and watch and live commentate BlizzCon. That'd be awesome as hell. Thanks for all you guys do in your podcast to entertain fellow gamers. Happy face. Okay, well, I'm giving you happy faces right back, sir. Thank you for supporting our shows. That's awesome. You're great.
Would you like to plug your our guild and stuff, just in case people who in the future would like to come and play with us and do super cool stuff?
Yeah, if you guys don't currently have a Warcraft tome or you're looking for a new one, come hang out with us. We're on the Warsong server. We're playing Alliance right now. And okay, that's fine, man. And if you would like to come hang out with us, start a character there, whatever. But then send me an email at thehearthshow@gmail.com. And I'll hook you up with some details, on like our names, who to talk to. We'll get you in the guild. It's a fun guild right now. We're openly recruiting for some raiding. We were doing raiding on Saturdays. We move it around depending on people's availabilities and stuff. Now's the time to get in if you want to. Myself and Matt and a bunch of other people from our community are in that guild. So is Aidan, although his like level 20 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, come on in. Be more than welcome. We'd love to hang out and play some WoW with you. Maybe even Heroes, some Hearthstone, friendly stuff. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. We'll see you guys next week or sooner for the pre-brawl. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.